everybody, another update. Imagine that. I've got pretty much most of this backdrop done except for little details like telephone poles, a couple other little things in the future that I need to do, but other than that, it's pretty nice. It's ballasted, I'll show you that. I didn't really do it the way I normally would because I had a lot to cover. I wanted to get it done, so I did that. It's glued down, it's in place, it's got the feeders on it. A couple need to be hooked up. I got to figure out how to get the bus line over there to them, which I got plenty of slack in it to get over there and stretch. So got that, put in a road, got my structures back on the layout. Still not put the rolling stock and locomotives down yet. Still working, you know, and I don't want to hurt anything. I got stuff still on top, but I did vacuum it all up and clean it up. Structures are getting put in place now, so it should be fun. A few more little things might get done on certain scenes, so maybe more in towards the layout, which is nice. There's a few structures that I thought I was going to use. Now when I'm kind of planning this town, I don't think we'll wind up using. I got to plant a bridge in front of me right where I'm at. There'll be a bridge here, so a lot of things to do. But this is basically show you that ballast. Got it tidied up, and I'll explain what I'm going to do with the road, and I'll show you what I did with the road. Just a simple technique. It's worked good in the past for me. It takes a little bit of cleanup and work, but once you're done with it, it looks pretty good. So enjoy the update. Like, comment, subscribe, as always, and I will catch you maybe in a couple days, maybe tomorrow. Depends on how much work I get done. Will dictate when I make the next update. And I may be going back to work this week. I don't know yet. Hope to find out Monday because I need to know. So if I'm not going back to the end of this month, then it is what it is. So we'll get all that figured out, and we'll keep on working on the layout, guys. So thanks.
Alrighty, everybody. We're continuing the work on the backdrop. A couple things I'm picking up where I left off. You can see everything here. I've got to fix this. That's tilting a little bit, enough to kind of make a difference maybe, or maybe I didn't cut it right. But I'll look into kind of giving that a little fix. It's just regular glue all glued to the back of the backdrop, so not a big deal to fix that. So what I'm doing now is getting the track ready to ballast, and one of the things I want to do that I did with my previous layout, but I used a different method because it was flex track, weathering the rails. And this is a system Mike Pfeiffer of Pfeiffer Hobby Supply has I think on N-Scale how-to channel, how he ballasts and weathers his rails. So he uses a marker, and right now the old Woodland Scenics markers are hard to find, and you can get like a tester's version. This is a cheap Walmart acrylic marker. It works really well. You can see it back here. It's brown the rails, and then sometimes I may go through and add a little bit of the acrylic paint as well, but it works really well. The only thing is that crossing I got to figure out. It's got dirt on it. But I think that looks good over there. Take a little of the shininess off. That's when I go through and touch up the spots with the paint that I see that are shining on the sides. On the top's okay, but you don't want that shining on the sides. You want to have a nice looking rusty look. But this is drying pretty nice. It's not really any spots on this, so I'm gonna have to go back and touch that curve up, and right there, touch that up. Yeah, touch that up by the crossing, right up here a little bit. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go all the way down and get this ready. So when you come back, I'm gonna show you how I ballast the Unitrack. Probably some guys it's not a bad thing. I think I learned from the past. I was an over ballaster. I got really excited, and man, did I over ballast. This is a much easier process to do. It takes a little time, but now what I learned from it is to really clean the track good after you've ballast. Make sure there's no loose rocks, and you know what? If you do that and you check your track, you're going to be okay. This is going to be a pretty long section to ballast. It's probably going to take a lot of my ballast, but I have a big container of it. So that's what we're going to do. So stay tuned. So what we're looking at here is a little bit of the ballasting that I did finish. And this is all hard. It's down nice. The track is down. That glue went under there and glued it down. You can glue this down, which I meant to, but the ballast actually does hold it down as well, just like regular track. Your ballast can hold that down once, because you use a 50-50 glue mix over the top of it. So it can harden and it can really get this to stay down. I'm probably the rest of the way going to put some glue under it like I should have. But I've got that big chunk back here where the cardstock was kind of sticking up. I cut away from the track and I did ballast over it a little bit, and I put some more foliage in there, and I can still probably put some more. But that hid that, and I kind of touched up here where the ballast got on the landscaping. I can still touch some more of that up, but I came down here and that's about where I stopped, and I still have that much more to go, so quite a bit. Now this is done being ballast but not complete, because what I'll do is I'll take my finger and just keep working this whole couple sections back and forth, knock any loose, kind of feel along the side of the tracks, because you don't want to, sometimes it gets glued there and it can derail box cars or locomotives. So I do that. Then I'm going to go along the top of the rails with the Bright Boy, because it does have some paint on there and it will not conduct with that paint on top of there. So I just take the Bright Boy and I just go over the top of the rails, clean those off, clean any little rocks on the side, clean that up, and it will look good. I should have glued under here, but like I said, this will hold down the track really well. It's not going to move. So that's it with the weather look. So hang on really quick and I'll be right back, and I'll show you a couple different ways to do the Unitrack. I'm kind of doing it the quick way because I got a lot to do, but I'll show you a couple different things you can do, and then how I do it. It's very easy. It's no different than ballasting regular track. So let me get in position. Okay guys, so I'm back in a better position here where I'm ballasting. This is where I left off. Actually, let's see where I left off. Right about here. It's still kind of little, so I'm going to mark this tree and just do all this again with my isopropyl spray, and of course a good, with that there in the screen, good 50-50 glue water mix. But before I put that down, I make sure it's all ballast. Now you can do this a couple different ways. Unitrack, which I've done in a number of sections, but I'm doing smaller sections. I'll take some glue, just some basic glue, I'll put it along the side, just work it down. Then I'll work a little between the rails, which I'm not doing it this time. I'm just straight out doing it. And then you would just take your ballast and just, go along the sides, like I like to fill in along the, just up to the side of the track. Let's see, and I'll mess with it a little bit too. Okay, so I have this here, so I'll show you. I just take my brush, work what I have in the middle down and out. Then I'm just going to work this into place, go back and forth till you see the ties, and you want a little bit between those ties. I may work this up like this just to get it up on the side of that Unitrack, and so you just kind of work it in the ties, just lightly get it in there, just keep kind of working it. So it's just like regular ballast. It's tedious even though it's Unitrack. Still just work this, just keep working this down so it gets kind of between these ties, because this is a different color. I didn't realize that. I did get the gray, otherwise I wouldn't even mess with the center, but here I kind of did, so because I have a different color than the gray Unitrack road bed. So yeah, basically that's it. And once you get a big section done, or you get what you wanted done, you just kind of come along, make sure it's cleaned up. Like this isn't done yet because I'm going to keep cleaning this up and keep working it. Then come back, and then you'll see some spots like right here, right here. And so right here, there's that gap where that cardstock is. Not a big deal. You just take your clump foliage like this and you just cover it up, or some brush or something, and you'll do that right before you just spray it down with the isopropyl water to loosen the tension of the surface. And then you'll just come along with your 50-50 glue water mix and just squirt some of that over there too, to seal all that up. All this has been sealed up, so which is what I want, because I don't want anything picking anything up. And like I said, in a locomotive, you don't want that. So I'm going to continue doing this for the rest of the night. Maybe do a little more work, and we'll wait for Cousin Vinny, because this is Friday night. So I'm going to wait for Cousin Vinny to come on. Hopefully watch the time and get in on the chat. So I'm going to continue doing this, work it down, and I'll show you when it's finished up and what else I'm doing here. So we'll continue on, and I'll show you in a second. Okay, this is all, let me get better there with the camera. There we go. This is much better looking now, ballasted, weathered track. I have to go clean this up, but we'll take a look. I did sprinkle in here and there a little bit of the ground foam, some weeds. Right here in that section there, I was being a little sloppy when I was putting on my 50-50. The tip of the glue bottle caught the edge and probably messed it up a little bit. So add some of that in there. That covered up what it messed up. Didn't look really uniform. So yeah, like I said, I put some ground foam in spots that look like weeds. You can see it there along the right of way. Some dirt, maybe a few pieces of brush over here, maybe better taken care of. Just over there by that empty warehouse, there's a few weeds, which in real life would be too. My bottle blocking the way, but we're gonna fix this now. I just wanted you to take a look. I'm gonna clean all this up, I think, first, and then continue on with the back section back here and figure out what I'm gonna do. So we'll do that, and we'll just keep on working away. But you can tell this looks very nice. It gives it a complete look to the scene for sure. So excellent looking. I really like it. So hang on, and I'll be back with some more. Okay, guys. Probably going to end this today, or on this update, because I'm still working along. Ballast is in, dried, cleaned up, fixed a few things, put my structures back where I want them. That little substation I'm going to fix, change that eventually here in the future, maybe near future. You can see with the structures, that looks really nice. That structure there, the diner doesn't go there. I'll explain that in a second. Did a little bit more painting back there for the trees. Taped that up, straightened it up so it'll sit straight. Got a sidewalk planned for the building that's going to go right in there. Here's the road. Yeah, that's all taped up. My track's all taped up so it doesn't get it. There's going to be some shops there, some flats for the shops. Then that corner, because of that big gap, is just going to be probably cut a piece of foam and put it in there and just make a little hill with some trees. Right here, this big parking lot here is going to be the Ford dealership. I'm going to put that in there. I thought that'd be a good touch. A couple more flats, business flats along here, and then of course this will be the diner scene, and the road will be cut here and the road will curve. I got this idea from watching videos, being on quarantine. There was an old, I don't know what channel it was, or they were showing an old Norfolk and Western video, and one of the towns in Ohio, it made this curve around the track like this, and I kept wondering what I was going to do with this area right here, how I was going to approach it. And once I saw that video, that's what I'm going to do. So I curve the road around, and once this dries, which I just got to let it dry, I will sand it all down. I'll make my sidewalks, put in the structures that I want to put in there, and we'll be moving along here on a big project here I never thought I would get done, but I did, thanks to quarantine. So we'll see what happens this week. I haven't heard anything from my great boss, but we'll see if I go back to work this week. If not, well, I don't, so make the best of it. But this looks great. This is going to be great once it dries and sanded and painted. and that wheel back there as well. And the rest of this all in here will be done like this with plaster. I just used the spackling type stuff. This is another way to make roads other than using Smooth It. You can use Smooth It, but this will work, and I've done roads like this before and they've turned out really well. So once they're sanded down and painted, you can add some details. Probably will get highways and byways striping eventually. Once I get all the roads in, then I'll probably do that. So right here probably be a railroad crossing as well. But a cheap gates that I do have until I get some nice ones by NJ or something like that. So that's what we'll do. So it's coming along. That's the end of this. Stay tuned. You know, I'll be doing more for sure, guys. So I'll catch you later.